Well, quick commerce platform Zepto has raised $665 million at a $3.6 billion valuation in a highly oversubscribed round, just 9 months after the company raised $235 million at a $1.4 billion valuation. Avenir, Lightspeed and Avra Capital joined the company's cap table as new investors, among others. Existing investors Glade Brook, Nexus and Stepstone co-led the round, with Goodwater and Lackey Groom doubling down as well. To talk to us about the road ahead, joining me now is Zepto's co-founder and CEO, Aadit Palicha. Aadit, welcome to CNBC-TV18. Now, the Series F funding comes at a time when the company has achieved near EBITDA positivity with 140% year-on-year growth on a base of $1 billion in annualized GMV. About 75% of your stores are fully EBITDA positive. Aadit, how have you achieved this? What has led to this growth?
Yeah, firstly, it's wonderful being here. Thanks for having me. In terms of what's driven this growth, I think we've been in a position where we've been able to successfully raise the organic rate of new customer acquisition. I mean, we've been able to scale new customer acquisition from 3 lakh new customers a month to now about well over 6 lakh new customers a month. So that addition still primarily driven through organic means, with obviously some supplement from paid marketing, but that's been one big driver of success, right? New customer acquisition. And we've seen that drive not just overall platform growth, but same store sales growth. Within our existing network of dark stores, we've been able to drive orders per day up from around 1,000 orders per day to now 50 to 70% higher, right, on just purely same store sales growth. So that's been the progress over the past 7 months on volume. On top of that, I think all the other initiatives we've done to drive user retention and frequency, for example, Zepto Pass, which now has almost 5 million subscribers across the country. All of those initiatives have really played out well and improved retention, and has been sort of a catalyst to growth over the past 7 months. So that's the reason why we've been able to multiply the business over the past 7-8 months from the last fundraise to today.
Of the last fundraise, you raised $235 million in your Series E round in August, I believe. 9 months ago, significant capital raised. What made you raise another round so soon, and where will the fresh funds be deployed, Aadit?
So, from our perspective, we saw this round as an opportunity to build the balance sheet. We're now pretty close to overall EBITDA break even, like you mentioned, right? 75% of our stores are fully profitable, and they're turning profitable faster and faster. They used to take about 23 months to turn profitable. Now they're only taking about 6 months, with a fraction of the capital and fraction of the investment to get to the same scale and same level of profitability. And so, from our perspective, we have enough profitability being generated from our mature stores to keep reinvesting back in the business and continue to grow. But we looked at this round, given the investor demand, as an opportunity to build our balance sheet into what will hopefully be a large IPO in the relative near term. And so we think of this as having the requisite amount of cash we need to be able to justify a multi-billion-dollar IPO. So this is a balance sheet building exercise. We're not in the game of taking a large amount of capital and just spending it. Most of the investments we're making right now are reinvesting profits from our mature stores.
All right. So you plan to scale from 350 stores now to about over 700 stores by next year, March. Like you just mentioned, you're going public, which seems closer than before. How close are they? Can you give us a timeline?
So look, we're definitely trying to build out all the infrastructure we need to be a public ready company. First, even on the commercial side, right? What we've done in terms of proving to investors that we can operate at EBITDA break even, or around that level, even while continuing to grow the business. That's obviously one big milestone that you need to have to be a public ready company. But then beyond that, we also have all the infrastructure on reporting rigor, accounting excellence, on corporate governance mechanics, on all the long-term compliance thresholds we want to hit. All of that is deeply underway right now from our own internal work perspective. And so it is a big priority, and we are trying to push for an IPO as soon as possible. And the ambition is sooner rather than later, like I mentioned. So hopefully it's within 2025, and we should have all the infrastructure ready to go public by then. But we might, take a call depending on what external circumstances are at the time. So it may spill over, but hopefully 2025, although I can't give you something concrete.
So hopefully, if all goes well, it'll be within 2025. Aadit, you're also looking to expand the Zepto Pass. Can you tell us how many people have bought it already and how much is it contributing to Zepto's revenue?
Yeah, so 70% of orders are coming from Zepto Pass today, and it's almost 5 million subscribers across the country.
So you're saying 70% orders are coming from the Zepto Pass currently. We spoke about, you guys looking at providing a 10x customer experience, expanding the Zepto Pass, and of course, launching new categories. That's also the plan. So what are these new categories, Aadit, and how soon do you plan to launch them? If you could elaborate on these plans and how they will help you stay ahead of competition.
So look, I think there are categories that we already are starting to, bubble up into. For example, beauty and cosmetics, home and kitchen, toys, other general merchandise items, even low-ticket appliances and electronics, like day-to-day household appliances. All of those categories are on the horizon. We've already expanded into all of them today on the app, but we're planning to meaningfully double down into them because we're already seeing, these categories will probably hit, they were just launched last quarter. They'll probably hit a 100 million revenue run rate by next quarter, realistically, the way that it's growing right now. And so, from our perspective, we are very excited about these new categories. We think expanded selection in them is going to yield some pretty exciting returns.
Okay, let's now talk about competition. How do you plan to compete with the likes of Tata's BigBasket, Zomato's Blinkit, who have deep pockets? In fact, we now have RIL entering the quick commerce space with JioMart. How do you plan to compete with the big boys?
Look, I think this is primarily an execution game. We're talking about what will most likely be the largest market opportunity in Internet India to date, quite realistically. I mean, this category is bigger than all the other categories that Amazon and Flipkart serve combined ×2. Right? Grocery is the mother of all categories. And so the market is extremely large, but the business is very difficult. It's operationally intensive. The mechanics on unit economics are tough to crack. And so it's very much an execution-intensive game. I think any player that executes extremely well will be able to build a successful, large company in this space. I think if 3 players execute well, there'll be 3 large companies built in this space. If only 2 players execute well, then only 2 players will succeed in building a large company. And if only 1 executes, then only 1 large company will be built. So it's all about execution.
All right. So there's enough room for 3 or 4 players, but execution will be key. Aadit, one final question before I let you go. You're also looking to hire teams to fulfill these growth plans. Are you only looking at hiring top talent? And if yes, then across which verticals?
So, absolutely. I mean, our talent bar is high, and we try to look for high performance, Top Gun style talent, right? People that are willing to work in an intense environment, but love meritocracy and love the idea of creating hard work and ambition into disproportionate career growth, regardless of what your on paper credentials are. And so that's the culture of Zepto, and we're absolutely hiring. We're hiring about 500 new folks on the team, from 1,650 people to a little over 2,000 people. That's the objective right now. And this is across engineering, product. This is in category teams, in growth teams, in the finance team, and obviously in supply chain and operations. So across all verticals of the company, we're looking for the best new talent.
All right, Aadit. With that, we'll have to wrap up our conversation. But thank you so much for joining us today, and we wish you the very best with all your aggressive growth plans. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Wonderful being here.